Hi, my name's Kyle Gray. Most of you probably know me as Avocado, and today I've been sober for 1 year. Um, so I was a heavy drinker. I was an alcoholic. Um, I've been drinking heavy since I was around 21. I didn't drink growing up. I didn't drink in high school. I was what some may call straight edge, minus the whole not having sex or like not believing in religion or anything like that. I just didn't do drugs or drink. And I don't know why I was against that from an early age. My family, they drink a lot. But drinking was always an issue with me. I always drank a lot. When I got old enough to drink, I started drinking socially. And when you're young and it's socially acceptable, you don't really think too much of having drinks on the weekends or drinking when you're partying. And then you start to get drunk more and it becomes just a thing. Like, oh, I was binge drinking this weekend. Oh, I'm 21. You're supposed to do that. Flash forward, I'm 34 right now. And the past 8 years, I developed a pretty bad drinking problem. I would drink a lot on the weekends. Blackouts would become pretty regular where I wouldn't remember parts of the night. I would drink pretty much every day. I would have at least a beer or a drink. Wouldn't get drunk every day. But then recently, within the past 5 years, my drinking got really out of control where I would be drinking every day at lunch even. I used to do visual effects. I did visual effects for 13 years. And honestly, visual effects is kind of the core of a lot of my issues. A lot of my stress came from doing a job I wasn't in love with, and I was spending a lot of hours at this job and being stressed over it and not really liking what I was doing. I didn't even really like the craft. I kind of just wound up doing it, and I fooled people into thinking I was good at it because I don't think I was ever a good compositor. And yeah, I think that drove me to want to escape all the time, want to be numb. And drinking was always something that I just viewed as part of me. Like I used to joke about getting drunk all the time. I was like, I took the whole machismo aspect of being like a guy that drinks a lot of beer. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, drinking really bled into being toxic in every aspect of my life. It was toxic to my health. I have always been a gym rat and really into being athletic and going to the gym, but going to the gym a lot and eating good and then canceling it out by drinking a lot doesn't really work. So I always was kind of like had this weight on that I didn't really like. Drinking led me to other addictions that I've kicked as well. And drinking also was a really toxic element in all of my relationships. Every single relationship I've had, drinking has been a toxic element in. My ex-girlfriend, before my last girlfriend, she actually brought up my drinking issues, and I remember dismissing it as being like, well, I'm not a bad drunk. I don't get in fights. I don't like try to have sex with other women. I don't like drive drunk. And then in my previous relationship, pretty much all of that became true. Pretty much every single one. So I became a really bad drunk. I would drive drunk very often. I would be extremely mean to my ex-girlfriend. I would say a lot of things that I regret to this day. Wasn't ever physically violent with her, but it became a point where she didn't want to be around me when I was drunk, and I was drunk a lot, so it was almost like she didn't want to be around me, period. So when the person you love the most in this world doesn't want to be around you, it really cuts you to the core. But even that didn't really want to make me stop drinking. I quit drinking for 100 days 2 years ago, and really all that did was I did what's called white knuckling, where you just quit for a certain amount of time until you can drink again. So the whole time you're just like, I can't have a drink now, but soon. I just need to hold out until that 100-day mark hits. So once that 100-day mark hit, I started drinking again, and then my addiction just came back into play. I started drinking more and more and more. If you're fans of this channel and if you've been watching Ruin Your Day for a while, you've noticed that, I used to drink a lot. When Watch first came around, Watch honestly was an excuse for me to party with people, was an excuse for me to get together with my friends and drink and not care about shit. If you watch like even some of the earlier watches with like specifically Roan, Disaster, and Hollow, I was really nervous about having such big guests on the show that I got like blacked out drunk, and then when everybody left, the stream was still on and I passed out on the stream. I like fell asleep on the stream. And, you know, when that happened, I remember thinking that was kind of funny. Like I thought it was actually hilarious, but now looking back on it, I'm like pretty embarrassed about that I acted in that way. So yeah, drinking during watch got really bad. I would get really, really intoxicated during watch episodes, and it became a thing that even other people too would drink a lot during watch too. So, and then, you know, we filmed watch in an apartment that I had when me and my ex-girlfriend went on our first break. I got an apartment, and that was kind of short-lived, and then I got back with her. So then when I would get really drunk, if I didn't stay at my apartment that night, I would drive back to hers. I would drive back to her house, and I was drunk. So I drove drunk a lot, and I drove blacked out drunk a lot, and it was really bad. Like there was a couple times where I even drank going back to her house. Like I would be drunk and drinking a beer drunk in my car, driving in Los Angeles highways, like hitting the side of the highway. It was really insane. And I never once stopped and was like, I'm putting people's lives at risk. I'm putting my life at risk, because nothing ever happened. I never got in an accident. I never got caught. I always just thought, oh, I'm getting away with this. It's fine. Honestly, the big turning point for me to quit drinking and to quit a lot of my addictions, all of them, and to really turn my life around was my ex-girlfriend breaking up with me. That relationship was probably the most important thing in the world to me, and it ended, and it was mostly my fault. And drinking and my anger issues and my stress levels and just a lot of other toxic elements that were my responsibility was the reason why the relationship ended. So when that ended, it really put a lot of things in perspective. I just lost this woman that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, that I was going to have a family with. And it was really rough on me. It really hurt a lot. And I didn't really know. I had a lot of identity wrapped up in this woman, and I lost my footing in life. And the first month, this was right around Summer Madness 7. The first month, I still kind of was drinking just because I didn't really know how to deal with it. And I was almost in sort of a denial phase. And then I specifically remember I went live on my channel with a fellow rapper, and I got really drunk with him. And I remember the next day watching it back and immediately putting that live feed on private, because I was just so embarrassed of me slurring my words, telling stories I shouldn't be telling live in front of a bunch of people on the internet. You know, I'm a very open book. I love being an open case, and I love just being honest about who I am, but still there's a time and a place for everything. And I was saying a lot of things that weren't appropriate at that time. So I immediately put it on private, and I said, I'm going to quit drinking for a year. And that was July 15th or July 15th. Today, a year ago, essentially. So I just quit drinking. Honestly, I've been to AA before. It didn't work out for me personally. I have nothing against the program. I think it's a great program that's helped a lot of people, and I encourage people to go seek it out if you feel like you have an issue with drinking. But to me, it just didn't work well with my life. So I found a different path, and my path has been battle rap, doing battle rap full time, doing something that I really love doing, and helping a culture that I really enjoy really put meaning into my life, and doing Ruin Your Day, and now even further working to help the homeless, doing good stuff with who I am, and using my platform to do good things for my city and other people has really like made me feel good about myself and feel good about the direction that Ruin Your Day is going. So that honestly was the biggest help to get me sober. And honestly, you guys, like my fans, everybody that's tuned in to watch, anybody that's hit me up on Twitter, anybody that's come up to me during a show, shaked my hand, like that means like the absolute world to me. And after the first like week of being sober, you quit drinking, and the first thing you think is like, I'm not going to have any friends anymore because all I do is drink and go out. And what do I do with these people? I party. I'm not going to have any common ground with them anymore. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but the fact is if people in your life stop being friends with you because you're not drinking, they're not your friends in the first place. So I didn't lose any friends. I just stopped going to bars. I stopped partying. Honestly, my life slowly got better in every way, shape, and form. Some aspects got better a lot quicker than others. I got a lot healthier physically. My gym improvement, I got more athletic. Today I just ran 10.5 miles, and I've not done that in 6 months. I run 7 miles a day now, and I wasn't able to do that at 10 years ago when I was 24. I'm in the best physical shape of my life by far. I'm in the best mental space I've ever been in. I've been seeing a therapist for a really long time, so I go off and on. And yeah, I've just been exercising a lot of self-improvement. And I think drinking wouldn't have allowed me to explore this other area of me and kind of was keeping me at this level. Like drinking, when you're drinking a lot, never elevates you. It never progresses you forward. All it does is just keep you here. Keeps you here. You never have heard anybody ever say that I am really glad I started drinking again. Nobody's ever said that because there's no reason to be glad. If you've stopped and you've seen the positive aspects that drinking has made towards your life being improved in every way, shape, or form, it's like there's no reason to look back. And that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm really not even like, oh, I'm 100 days sober. I hope I can make it 100 more. I'm almost like drinking isn't even a thing for me anymore. I don't drink, and life has gotten so much better without drinking in every way. So I know a lot of people hit me up on Twitter about being sober. I know a lot of people always ask me questions about it. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. I want to form a place where people can get together and talk about issues with addiction. It doesn't have to be limited to alcohol. It can be any other addiction. I know there's every addiction out there. And even if you're having a hard time in life with depression, if you're having a hard time in life with your family, with work, anything, I know that everybody needs somebody to talk to, and not everybody has somebody to talk to. So I'm going to use Ruin Your Day as a platform for that. Every week on Wednesdays, I haven't decided a time yet, probably around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to have Ruin Your Day live for an hour. And basically what's going to be happening is the chat is going to be live, and that's going to be used as the floor for everybody to talk. I might be on a video feed answering questions to the chat. I might pull up some music that Ruin Your Day made to play. I might play some video in the background. It's going to be sort of a free-form vehicle type of feed. There's not going to be really a set thing that we're doing. The only thing that I want to go on is I want people to feel like it's a safe place to come into and talk and vent, talk to other people, maybe give advice. I'll be in there if anybody wants to ask any questions about being sober. I can give whatever advice I can for that. And yeah, essentially, I just think there needs to be a place like that. I think AA works really well for a lot of people because it's a community. It's a strong-knit community. You have a sponsor that holds you accountable for not drinking. You have other people that are going through the same thing as you. You realize there's a whole world out there of people that just don't drink. And that's rare these days, honestly. So I want there to be a place like that on Ruin Your Day doesn't have to be just limited to alcohol. It could be anything. Like my parents went through some heart problems this year, and that really devastated me. So, I needed somebody to talk to about that. My ex-girlfriend's dog that I really love got cancer. My close friend just had cancer. So it's been tough for me as well this year, and I'm really thankful that I've had Ruin Your Day to talk to you guys about battle rap and forget about the troubles in my life, but I want to give back, and I want to create a platform where we can all come together and sort of be each other's shoulder to lean on every now and then. So just wanted to make this video to talk about me getting sober, my experience with it. Honestly, to wrap this up, being sober is like probably the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. Me breaking up with my ex-girlfriend that I love to this day has been the best thing that's ever happened to me too as well. It's really like jump-started me to make big improvements in my life that I'm really proud of. And yeah, I mean, I think anybody out there that's struggling with addiction, the first question you need to ask for yourself, if you're thinking that you might have a drug problem, alcohol problem, any sort of problem, is if I'm asking myself if I have a problem, I might have a problem. Do you want to take the next step to solving it? Do you want to get clean? Do you want to get sober? And all I can say is being sober is amazing. It's great. I would never trade it for anything. It works really well for me. Other people can drink responsibly. I'm not one of those people. I can't drink responsibly at all. So, yeah, guys, I just want to thank you all for helping me through my year of sobriety. You guys really made a huge difference in my life. I want to thank everybody out there that supported Ruin Your Day, all the patrons, all the people that did a watch episode, all the guests, all the people that tuned in for watch, everybody that bought merch, everybody that bought music. It means the world to me. So thank you guys.